Healthy, loving relationships don't have a double standard. A double standard is going to show up when you have that codependency. A codependent relationship almost always has a double standard. What does that look like? There is going to be a difference in power. There is going to be a difference in financial disclosure. There is going to be a different set of rules for two people in one relationship. There's going to be two separate rules. In a healthy, loving relationship, you're going to have the same rules for two people. You are both actively living in this relationship as one. You are independent and together, but the relationship is one. The relationship is together. There's unity. There's not double standard. Why is that double standard there? That's what I would be asking myself. The double standard of someone else can act a different way, have more feelings, have less feelings, have all of the financial control and gain, while the other person maybe is left in the dark or doesn't have full financial disclosure or what's going on. Why is there that pull away? Why is something being hidden? Why are the rules not the same? In healthy relationships, it's an open door. It's your business. It's both of your business. It shouldn't be that you pry, beg, and nag to see what those numbers are, what the plan is. The workload at home shouldn't all be on one person, but the other person doesn't have as much of a workload. There should be shared responsibility, shared values, shared rules. Equality should be everywhere in your healthy relationship. And when you have codependency in relationship, you're going to have that double standard. You're going to have that power dynamic where someone has more power and say than you, or it's changing. Like maybe it's just changing on the situation or the day or the thing that has happened in your life. Now that person just gets to make the decision, whatever they want to make. There's that difference, that you're not getting that consistency. The consistency should be that you're both on board with that and that you both know. Now, the part where you have to be responsible, the part where I have to be accountable is that I can't ask someone to do something I wouldn't do myself. So if there is a shift in power, if there is that double standard, I first have to make sure that I pull my own socks up and that I'm doing the things that I'm asking that other person that I'm in the relationship with. After I have made sure that has happened and I've seen the double standard, so I make sure I level up because then I ask. And then I also have to come in with boundaries. I have to start making clear boundaries. If I want boundaries, if I want change, you can't have boundaries without a desire to change. So here I have to show up and I have to have my boundaries be clear. I have to bring this to my partner. I have to explain the consequences for the decision, whether it goes either way. And then I have to see how all of this play out. This is a process. I have to give that person the chance to change and see if that real change will happen. And then I also have to do my part as in set the boundaries, do the things that I am also asking, because I can't ask them to do something if I'm not even doing it. So there's a part that I play, there's a part that they play. Then I see what happens. Do they make that deep character change? Are they on top of it? Are they taking initiative? Is their change consistent? Are they leading their change? If they're not doing that, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it more because I make them and ask them and I set up the plan for them to succeed. That leaves me in my own control, and control is an illusion. So that can just be something I tell myself for a time. But if I'm controlling their progress, it's not going to be real progress. It is going to only be there until I stop putting in the action for the progress for someone else's business and change. So my job is to refrain from controlling, to set the boundaries, to do the things that I ask of my partner, and then see what they do if they're going to make that change with the double standard. To make the relationship equal. I believe that people can change, but it takes a lot of work and effort to change. It takes doing it over and over consistently. It takes that living that amend. It takes acknowledging it. And it takes like deep commitment to make sure that it's the same. Full transparency, out in the open, both people doing it, unity, you're both giving. All healthy relationships need these bones to thrive. But if you have a double standard and there's that one person has more power or changes the rules or has the rules, you're not going to have that equality. You're not going to have that thriving, loving relationship that you could have one day. So it starts with yourself. It starts with me. I can't ask something I wouldn't change myself. I have to do the work first. I have to lay out those boundaries clear and reinforce them, and then see what kind of decisions do I want to make next. So that's my job. It's a process, but to eliminate that double standard, it's not going to be easy to spot at first. Like when I first saw the double standard, I was confused. It didn't make sense. It wasn't logical. It was unfair. Why is it different here and then there? Why are those rules different for you, but they're not different for me? So I knew when I saw the double standard, I was confused at the beginning and it completely did not make sense. It should make sense. So double standard is, if you're a little confused, it's probably there. Start watching the behavior of, are the actions matching the words? Do these things align? Are these things consistent? Look for the inconsistencies with the rules of the relationship or the home, and is it all changing all over the place? Because consistency will foster that trust and safety. Consistency fosters change. Consistency will give you that thriving, loving relationship. So double standards is going to ruin relationships, but it's possible to change, but to stay out of the way while your partner is informed of these things to change, and then letting your partner make the changes. But that means I get out of the way. That means I do my part by doing what I ask, and also being consistent myself. Consistent, loving, patient, and kind. So this isn't just one person changing. I am also changing with my person and supporting them. So get rid of that double standard. Thanks, guys. Bye.